Uh, okay. Um, I have the score sheet in front of me, so it's not loaded as conveniently, but we can go through the moves. Um,
Okay.
so e4, oops, c5, knight f3, d6, d4 takes, and then we have the knight over. And so just to give people preparation, like I actually prepared for this game for about an hour, and I saw my opponent, whose his name is Romulo Fuentes, 2200 national master. He's played chess for so long. I went back in 2012 to see one of his games in the Nightorf, and he played a line where he sacrifices his queen. And so before the game, I knew this exact line, and I knew the exact end game we were going to go into. Um, so I went into it, and I was thinking like doing this end game. I have ideas of like what to do, but I think in retrospect, I would have not go into the line that he already did and play something different, and to throw him off and study that line more extensively instead of going into a line where he's played it before, um, and he knew what he was doing. So
Here's a question, maybe for audience is at our level, 1800, just A level club players. What's the consensus on preparing, opening, and lines against potential opponents? Because I don't do that right now. I don't take any time to prepare or anything. I kind of just you be adventurous and see kind of what happens with the game. But that could be a big that could give you a big edge, just being able to prepare lines against opponents. And I know at higher levels that happens all the time. Well,
yeah,
I know that happens all the time, like at higher level competition.
yeah.
So I'm wondering maybe at what point is that something that we should take into practice? It's like at what point do you start preparing lines against opponents?
Sure. I think it's at the class A level, and especially against like a expert level player who has games publicly available. Why not use the information to your advantage? Because you need all the advantage you can get. Well, that's my thinking.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility that your opponent will not play into a line. Say you prepare for a couple of hours into a line, and then he does not even play it, and then it's like, at what point is that not worth the time invested? Where you could be investing that time doing something else.
Sure, sure.
That's an open-ended question that I don't really know the answer to.
Okay, well, that's a philosophical question then. um, with pros and cons to both. But I'm gonna go through what he played here. So I knew the first 15 moves he's gonna play, and so he played exactly that. Um, if I remember correctly, Bishop G5, E6. I also played the Scheveningen with the A6 move order. He played F4. I played Bishop E7, Queen F3, Queen C7, castles queenside, Knight B to D7, Bishop E2, and then I played B5. And so this is I prepared all this, and he played exact. We were going through this so fast, so I knew exactly what he's gonna do here. But this is a crazy line that I've never looked at, and I'm actually more encouraged to play as white because after seeing his game, like I would play this as white. He took here first. Why? Because once I take back the knight, now we can push e5 to target this rook and target my knight. And so you might be thinking, okay, well I block with the bishop first, gain a tempo, and then potentially win a pawn on e5. But the crazy thing is, he doesn't move his queen. He takes
Wait,
an.
is this the actual game or is this your preparation?
This is the game and preparation.
It's both. He
Yeah.
played it fine with his preparation.
With my preparation, all like 16 moves.
So you take the queen for sure.
I take the queen for sure. But this is pretty crazy because he takes that with the bishop. Now he has bishop hanging and a rook hanging, right? So what happened?
I said you do.
What happened? Sorry.
I said you do. You said he has a bishop and a rook hanging. But
Oh yeah. Sorry. I have a bishop and rook hanging. So all the other moves that have been played in this position has considered bishop takes here, playing d5 or something like that. But the computer recommends rook c8, and this is like 0.2 more precise, 0.2 more points more precise. And so I was like, okay, if I can get any edge, this is bad thinking because I could have just played something totally different to throw him off. But if I can get any edge in this endgame, I have to move my rook because the rooks are more valuable. And the point here being, he takes my bishop. And let me ask you, would you take with the king or the queen?
Well, I definitely do not take. I wouldn't take at all.
What would you do here?
Just off the. Okay, so knight c6 is gonna happen, right? If you don't take, knight c6 happens.
Oh, sorry. After rook c8, he checked first. He checked, moved my king, and then he took.
Okay.
So my bad.
So king takes.
So king takes is a mistake.
Because knight d5.
No. I forgot why it's a mistake. If you want, we can try to find the white's best move. Do you want to do that, or do you want to just go in the game?
Okay, so like there's
Mm-hmm.
my first thoughts are always is kind of go through the game. I know that's what I
Okay, first pass, right?
Go through it quickly.
Yeah.
And then we'll take out all the inaccuracies and we'll do some more.
Yeah. So queen takes e7. So this is the end of my preparation. I saw this exact position, and believe it or not, computer thinks this is dead equal.
Oh, it's 3 pieces for a queen and even pawns?
Even pawns, but what the computer does not, like, this is like,
Or black is off a pawn.
what's more difficult is that black has a hard time developing, especially this rook on h8. So even though materials like technically equal and the game is technically drawn by the computer, it is much harder to play as black.
Interesting.
Like, it's so much easier to play for white, in my opinion. But technically, this is an even endgame.
We should play this out like 10 games of like, I don't know.
We should.
Lower time control, practice it for both sides.
So yeah. It's a weird imbalance, but I saw this position and I thought, okay, I think I can handle this. I think I can just play g6, and I think I can put my king to g7, connect my rooks. But his threats were fast. Like, they came very fast. I don't know how he played f4 here. Wait a minute. Let me go back. So, he played f4 a long time ago. So here, takes. For some reason, I have him playing f4 here. But that's not what he played.
Is it f5?
No. I don't know what he played, to be honest, but I think I had an extra move, I think. So maybe I lost a tempo somewhere. Let me just make sure. So, queen f3, bishop e2, b5, takes, e5, bishop e7, e takes f6, bishop takes f3, rook c8, bishop c6 check, king f8, f takes e7, queen takes e7, f4. Why did...
You mean f5?
No, he didn't play f5. Because I remember I played queen f6 here. Oh, wait a minute. No. Okay, so I actually don't know what happened, but he... Oh, man, this is really embarrassing because... Yeah, I don't know. Okay, but let's say, for example, he loses the tempo. This is the exact position we had, though. Except it was my turn to move. Strangely enough. I don't know what happened, but let's just make a random move. So just to keep going, keep the flow of the game. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So,
best move for white, but
if you were black here, what would you play?
queen f6 because you said so.
That's actually... I get into trouble here. Like, this is how quickly things can get into trouble. Because I want to attack this pawn. He didn't push f5 because I took this pawn. White played bishop b7. So this always tricks. What I should have played is rook c7 first and then queen f6. to prevent bishop b7.
Okay.
So now we trading
Right.
stuff.
Okay, because he's gonna undermine your pawns on the queen side. That's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal because he has passers now, right? And then if with one pawn by itself, it was really weak during the game. So instead, I should have played rook c7.
I'm really trying to figure out what White's actual move was in the game in place of f4.
Yeah.
It's not rook g1. So what about rook h to e1?
Maybe if it is, we'll go back. But let's just say for now, it's this. Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna give him a move, give him like one that's gonna be strong, right, or something.
Yeah. Well, I just don't remember the exact position. So if the rook was on f1 or e1, is a big difference to all these variations. Okay. So I'm trying to see if he makes a move that doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Like what would happen?
Fair enough.
But we'll figure it out. So
bishop 7, rook c7, or queen takes f4.
I take f4 first. Oh, you're right. He played rook h to e1. I remember now. So sorry. Let me go back. So he played this. So this looks scary, right? Like.
Yeah, this seems natural for White to try to decentralize both rooks and then try to take advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, he played this. So queen f6, bishop b7,
queen takes f4,
takes king b1, and then I play rook c7. Okay, this makes more sense. So this is not easy, like to play as black, because I gotta get my rook involved, and then there's a lot of tricks where e6 falls and the rook is gonna pin my king. Like there's a lot of tricks here that I fell into, which was my fault. Yeah. So that actually did happen in the game. So bishop takes on a6. This is move.
20.
No. Wait a minute. He took here. So rook c7 was a mistake.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you why doesn't this work right immediately? Maybe it was because the bishop was hanging, but it does work because it's a fork.
Yeah.
Take and then rook f1.
Exactly.
So here after takes rook f1, rook takes b7.
No, you gotta take the rook first.
Right, but okay, yeah, it's better to have a rook, right?
Yeah. So now you got this position.
So here maybe.
So this position, like I actually held on for a good while, but if I had to go back, so after king b1, I wonder how I could have saved my rook and prevented knight e6. So maybe rook e1 or rook e8. Yeah. I just want to save my rook and.
Yeah, maybe that's an improvement.
This is a slight improvement, but I'm still so cramped, you know? So if this was a line, I would probably push b4.
And then I'm going to try to... Here...
Because there's a lot of tricks where he can take on e6.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's make it through the game.
Okay. So I'm going to go back. Bishop takes a6. And... this looks very difficult to defend, but I think I did a decent job at this. So one move, 23. I played b4 to protect my pawn. Knight e2. Rook a8. What I wanted to do was double on this file and attack this pawn, but I quickly forgot about, or I missed that he had this resource that he can always do.
Well, I mean, White doesn't really have a whole lot of really good targets for, that Black can try to take. Like, all the pawns are kind of solidified. The bishop and knight work well together.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do? Like, how do you play? What's the goal? So I understand how doubling the rooks, that seems like a logical continuation, but yeah, knight f1 kind of just holds everything together, right?
Yeah, so that's something I didn't consider. But what would be if you had this position here, knowing all these things, like no weaknesses and all these things, like what would be kind of your general strategy or thoughts about how to play this position?
Honestly, I would try to get coordination with the rooks and double them on, the second rank somehow. That would at least be the general goal.
Yeah.
Somehow get coordination. And I don't think, or yeah, I'm not 100% sure on my next statement, but if Black does not manage to hold onto the two rooks, is that a disadvantage for Black? Like, if you trade a pair of rooks off, is that better or
I
not?
It's so funny you asked that because I considered rook f8,
Right, me too.
and I'm like, wait a minute, I lose, I think, because all these minor pieces will just attack all my pawns, and my one rook can't defend everything.
Right,
That's what my thinking was.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go through the game. We'll keep going. Rook a8, bishop d3, solid move. And then I played g6 here, which I liked. It restricted this bishop. So even though it's technically like you're not supposed to be pawns in the same color, but in this case, I think it's really good. What do you think?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I mean, my maybe kind of strategy here would be to consolidate and hold everything tight, and then hope that maybe White overextends somehow. Like, it's difficult for White to overextend in like this simplified pattern position.
Yeah.
But Black doesn't really have a whole lot of targets to go after, so what do you kind of set up a fortress and try to hold?
Exactly. Yeah. And black, it's hard for black to, for black, the only hope you have is promoting this pawn.
Yeah.
That's your only hope to win.
Realistically, yeah.
Yeah. So I played g6. He played rook f4, attacking this pawn. Really good move, making his rook active. I made my rook passive because I had to keep this pawn. I think that was forced. And then he played b3. Basically, I think it's a waiting move, but also just to fix his pawn. Arguably, he could have done something better, but yeah. And here I played d5. So I learned that when you have a bishop like this, like a light square bishop, you want your pawns on the light squares. So
Yeah.
so my goal is to push e5 and e4. And so this bishop is totally restricted.
Yeah.
That was my plan. And my king can be more centralized and be a barrier. So now he played rook h4, which was questionable. Because now after king d6, my rook protects here. This rook is, I guess, attacking these two pieces, but I got things consolidated here. And I'm ready to push. He played king b2, and I guess he missed like what I was trying to do, but I pushed e5, threatening to play e4. And so he had to play f6 to make room for the bishop.
D3.
And I played e4.
Very nice.
And then he played bishop c1. And then I had to take here, I believe. I took on c3, but I wonder if I had anything else. No, I think that's fine. Takes. Knight takes. And then now rook f7. So at this position, I thought I was better. Because my rooks are getting active, my pawns are more passed. Like I'm not winning, but I like my position. This bishop is constricted. This rook is not is like misplaced. Like I thought I was winning here.
Okay.
What do you think? How do you evaluate this?
Well, just as a blanket statement, generalization, the two pieces are gonna most of the time outplay the rook.
Mm-hmm.
Equal amount of pawns, but you have two connected passers in the center, which maybe gives you kind of a small edge, at least in compensation for the fact that he has the two pieces against the rook. At least you have the two centralized pawns,
Yeah.
and they're connected. Your king is centralized in the center. His king is kind of out of play on the side of the board.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I would say that black is better, but at least equal.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to, and I do like how you made you took measures to improve when you knew that you were worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like 5 moves ago you were worse, and you took measures, and now it's questionable at least that you could say that white is better out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's a good evaluation. I think if I was white, this rook wouldn't be on h4, and it'll be maybe on the second rank somewhere, and then this bishop would be on a better square.
Yeah,
But
the knight should be blockading the pawns too in e4 and d5. The knight should be maybe on d5 or d4.
yeah,
Like that.
it should be on d4 for sure. So I played a horrible move here. Wait, actually no, I didn't. I played a good move. I played I played rook f7. He played a4, trying to make counterplay. I played a good move, king e5, trying to push again, right? Just keep going. And then he's like, I've had enough. I can't do this. And he takes with the knight. Because
he's gonna count on the fact that the bishop is gonna be able to help the pawns on the queen side promote because he's liquidating.
Yes.
This king after king takes, he's gonna take back with the bishop.
Yes.
And maybe start getting the pawns on the queen side rolling.
So now his bishop is active. He has winning chances with these two pawns. And if I can hold and somehow he makes a mistake, then I win. But I have less winning chances here, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was surprised actually, but okay, I played king c5, wanting to blockade, or just prevent b4 in general. He played bishop f3, which is a great move. It restricts my rook and it clears this out. And then I think I played the best move of the game. Rook b4.
Huh. Interesting.
If I can get my king on b4 and just chill out, this is a draw. This might even be a win. Because I can get my pawns on the dark colors, get my rook somehow targeting this pawn, and then maybe bishop has to overwork itself somehow. But I don't know. Like, if we trade here, it's very pleasant for me.
Okay.
So, in this position, like, I thought trading was the best move. Do you have any other ideas or?
No, I like the idea that you have that you presented. Bishop or rook b4, try to get exchanges happening, and psychologically, like maybe against a higher rated opponent. I'm not sure what the time control or the time situation was at this point, but less pieces. Maybe if you're under time pressure, less pieces is easier. So even like just from a practical perspective, trading probably is a good idea.
Yeah. I'll say that I had about 20 minutes left.
Okay.
And he had about an hour 20. So maybe an hour 30. So he was going through the moves real fast, and because obviously it takes me longer to find the moves than him. So he saw this. He thought here for now 10 minutes and 15, like the longest thing he had of the game, I think. And he saw that if we take the bishop, we trade rooks, then everything would be kind of equal. So he didn't trade. He went back. And here I played the losing move. Oh, not a losing move, but just a mistake. Can you guess what I played?
King d4.
No, oh, okay, that would lose immediately.
That would lose big time. So pawn to g5.
I actually considered g5, but I played a worse move.
Why is that so bad?
You'll see in the game. Rook g3. So basically, his rook is now so passive. Like, why even do anything with this rook? Like, just leave it be and just create, matters into your hands on the other side. Something like this, would be totally fine.
What you're talking about, you're suggesting moves for white here, though.
So like, if I'm black here, instead of playing h5, which you'll see why is a bad move, I have to realize like this rook is misplaced, and I don't even need to do anything on the queen side. I can just focus getting my king to a better square and then getting my rook somewhere else.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, makes sense.
But I can kick myself in the butt for this. H5, and then he plays rook g3. Now his rook is active. Like what just happened? The rook was just
because he's gonna go check on g5, right?
Well, he had that at his disposal, and then his rook can be free again. But why even give him that option?
Okay.
So that made me so mad.
So how do you? Okay, so you said maybe for black play rook to d4, and then let's just quickly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, rook goes to d4. Say white does something like king c3. And then what?
Okay. Okay, maybe rook f4 was better, but you know what I mean. I could have done something more active instead of giving him an opportunity to get out.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what exactly I do. So in this position, if rook d4 is met by king c3, then possibly.
Yeah, I mean, look. I don't want to sound harsh or overcritical, but I think a good thing to keep in mind when playing is, especially these end games, is when you push a pawn. What like besides making just a move, you have to ask. Especially pawn moves, or I find even myself, I make these types of moves sometimes. When you really do not know what the plan is, that's when you start making mistakes, right? It seems kind of looks silly to have to say that, but that's how I feel like players make a lot of mistakes is when you don't know what to do, you just throw out like a move. And if you throw out a move like pushing your pawn, like even if white doesn't have the thing where he activates a rook, what does black really get out of pushing the pawn? Like why?
Yeah.
Like what does black really get out? It's a move, and I think like when you make any move like that, it's just like I don't know what to do, so I'm gonna push because I have to move and my time's running low. I think that's when you really, even for me, like I'm giving myself advice, that's when I make mistakes too. It's like okay, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna push a pawn.
Yeah, I feel you on that, and that's familiar with Sam Shanklin's book, right? The one that you have.
Yeah.
I watched his lecture on why pawns can't move backwards.
Yeah, I haven't gone through it yet, but that is the essence of what it says is pawns cannot ever move backwards, and they're very committal. That's a very committal thing. That's permanent change.
Yeah.
That's going to happen irreversible. So if you make a move like this, play shuffle with the rook, that's reversible when you can at least fix that mistake, if it is a mistake. But, okay, so we'll just go through.
Yeah.
Pawn goes to a5, rook g3.
No, you're 100% right. Yeah. Yeah, rook f6. Now he goes king c3.
I'm trying to subtly as I can, like push, or maybe I have a charger. It's because I'm doing this conversation on my phone and I'm like at 13%.
Okay, we can finish it up faster.
Or maybe I'll look for I did bring my charger, so if I put it on the charger.
Okay, yeah, go look for your charger. Oh, actually, no, I didn't play rook f6. I played rook to b6. Which, yeah, I wanted my king to go to b4, but it wasn't that great of an attempt.
Alright, we got some charge action going.
All right, nice. So rook b6, you're right. And then, oh man, now things turn not in my favor. So king c3, rook f to f6. And now, because I was preventing bishop e4, but he plays it anyways. Bishop e4. And then I play rook b to e6, which might not have been the best move. But I wanted to get my rooks, like my king can handle these passed pawns, but my rooks needed to go to a better square. Like rooks are not the best blockaders.
No, rooks are, you have to have them active in order to get the most out of them, and blockading is kind of a passive role. Knights are the best blockaders.
Yes.
So you're 100% correct.
So he played b4 check, pushing the pawns, king b6, a5 check, king a7. Notice how I'm going on the dark squares to avoid any type of tempo gains with the bishop checks on the light squares. And then he plays bishop d4. And here I play rook to e1. I was under time pressure here, like about 10 minutes left, so 15, 12 minutes left. But I needed to go behind the pawns. That's my thinking here.
Yeah, I think that might be a general guideline, if I'm not mistaken, is that if you're trying to prevent the pawns from advancing quickly or advancing at all, the rooks do best by harassing them from...
Yes. From the behind. Harass them from behind.
That sounds...
If you wanna stop the force from pushing you, you gotta harass them from behind.
I like that.
Quote that. Rook d1, b4. He's just pushed, like he's like has a plan. He's gonna go, and then I played rook a1 to put pressure. He played b3 check, king b8, and then now king b4. And so this looks bad for black. But I had a plan. I had a plan. What would you do here if you were black, actually? Let me quiz you. Not quiz, but I don't know if it's the right move or not, but this is what move I played.
I would, honestly, with the amount of time that you said that you had on the clock, I would start trying to just harass white by throwing checks in. Maybe rook to f4, check. He moves his king and then start checking with the other rook. That's the only thing that I can come up with. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. So I saw this line. I saw rook f4, king b5, rook b1, and then king hides.
Okay, yeah.
And then
that's
this...
difficult to deal with. How does black deal with that?
What happened?
I said that's difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
How does black deal with that? The fact that the king just tucks away. Although if the king goes to a6, he is blocking his own pawn. I'm not sure if that's anything substantial.
Yeah.
To say for...
But he has safety. Well, actually, maybe you're right. Maybe that's not even a big threat. Like, that's not what he wants to do. He doesn't want to block his pawns. But he needs to find some kind of shelter. So, looking back, maybe that's not even a big threat. Now that you say that. But the move I played was rook b1. Harassing him with your idea, but he can't go to b5. That was my idea behind that. So he didn't block with the bishop, but he blocked with the rook. So let me see what happens if he blocked with the bishop. I think I would still go here. And then if here, then.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want that.
Rook makes sense. The rook you exchange.
The rook makes sense, yeah. He wants to just exchange and push these pawns because it's on a light square, so he can do it. And then I checked him from this side, because this rook is no longer attacking my g6 pawn, so I can move this rook freely. And he played king c4. Oh no, king c5. So here, after the game, we talked like for a minute. He said he should have just blocked with his bishop.
Okay.
But maybe if he did, I don't know.
I don't understand why. Was that significant?
Because look, so also I'll go through the game. Sorry. King c5 is the main line. Now I don't trade the rooks, but I play rook a1. I'm still harassing this pawn. So he did play that in the game, rook b5, and he said after the game that was one of his mistakes. Because now I play rook f to a4, and now this pawn crumbles.
Okay, I see. So it's not that easy to convert this for white. I was thinking that this is going to be pretty easy. You can play kind of natural moves, but it's not that easy.
Yeah, there was tricks, and I had some counterplay now. This is what I was banking for, like some kind of target to...
So is this the actual game?
This is the actual game, yeah.
Okay, so this pawn falls.
So he knows this pawn's going to fall, so he plays bishop f6. Or f7.
Right.
Take, and then he takes on g6, and now I got to protect my h pawn, so I push it. So then he plays h3 to just fix it. Then I take, he takes, and then I play rook c 1. And this is a theoretical draw. I think so. My rook can literally just shuffle the whole time and do nothing. And this pawn can never push because of a dark square. And this pawn can never push because I can take en passant. Maybe he has tricks later, but like...
Why can't white play bishop to bishop to e4, hold on to the g pawn, push the b pawn to b7, and then try to maneuver his king to go win the h pawn, because that way your black's king will always have to stay around to guard the b pawn.
Yeah.
And then white's king can concentrate on collecting this other pawn. That's somehow not...
Yeah, you're thinking like a national master. That's what he did. He ditched this pawn on b6 and went after my h pawn, and then tried to queen with the 2 connected passers on the queen side, on the king side here.
And then the only problem to overcome is the fact that how is white going to be able to maneuver his king around if black foresees that is what white is trying to do? How does black maneuver his king around if the rook just sits still and cuts him off on c5?
Yeah. So this is a challenge. We can play this out too if we want to, but this is tough. I had like maybe 8 minutes left on my clock. Like this is getting down to the wire. Like I thought if I can just hold, it'd be a draw. But he's a national master, so he did a lot of great maneuvers here. He played bishop f7, I believe with the intention of going here and running away.
Right. So see, that's how you create that little cover to start maneuvering your king off to the other side of the board. Very nice.
Exactly. I don't know why I have here rook e5 check. That's a very strange way to check.
Okay, well, go over to the next move after rook e5. That's obviously not the correct move.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so I didn't play rook c1. I played rook e... Oh, the c was an e. So I played my rook here on e8.
Okay, I see.
My goal was to go here and then here. That makes sense.
Okay.
That was my goal. But I had like 8 minutes left, so I didn't know exactly. If I went to a different square, this bishop can go back in time. So I don't want the bishop to go to e4. You see that?
Yeah, so you're playing kind of intuitive moves.
Yeah. So if this bishop goes to e4 and to f3, then it's hard for me.
Right.
Harder. So I prevented bishop e4. He played bishop f7, possibly to go here. I gave him a check, so he can't go there. King c3. And then...
King c4.
Oh, king c4, sorry. This is like 8 minutes left, so my writing... I actually stopped after move 60 to write, because I had no time left.
Okay.
Rook g5. And then I forgot now he can go bishop d5. I'm like, oh my gosh. Because his king's protecting.
Right.
So I felt like, oh man, my plan didn't work. But it's okay. Because now I play rook to g6. Because I can't move my king anywhere, right? King to c5, protecting. Rook g5. King d4. Rook g6. Now he's going to get my h-pawn. b7. And then rook f6 here. King e5. And the move I should have... Well, I played rook... the move I should have played here was very simple. I should have played rook f8. If his king can never cross... Like, for example, if I played king or rook to f8, then he would have to... Oh, actually, maybe it's both losing, because he can go rook e4 and then go here.
No, I mean, I think if you do that, if you go to f5 at any point, king is going to take the b pawn.
Wait, say it again?
I said if you do this maneuver with the bishop to f5, the king will take the b pawn. So white has to keep the bishop along this diagonal. Hold on. So I would say my first reaction would be move the bishop to probably f3 and maneuver the king around this way here to h2, and then try to trade off these pawns, and then slowly start pushing the h pawn.
So that's really good intuitive thinking. However, that's a dead draw.
It doesn't work.
Because now you have to know about endgames. This pawn, h-pawn, so for example, wrong color square. This pawn can never promote because this bishop is not a dark square bishop.
Okay, so you've done your research on this, and you know that this is this in fact a draw for black?
I didn't check the engine, but the plan you showed here, would have been a draw because you can't queen with the h-pawn.
Okay, so you stopped recording at move 60.
Yeah, but I still remember some of the moves now.
Okay. So here instead, what did after rook f8? What did I play?
I played the worst move. I was kicking I had low time. I was like, man, I can't believe it. I played rook f1.
Okay, and then white played.
What do you think?
Bishop f3.
Yeah, and I'm cut off. And now my plan is, this is horrible. Now my rook is like in a bad square, and the king's gonna go to my h-pawn.
Yeah.
Which is the worst. Yeah. I forgot what I did. I think I played rook b or f2. So, well, actually no. I think I played rook a1 to try to check from the other side. He eventually won. Yeah. I forgot what he did. I think he played king f4, check, and then he blocked. No, he didn't block.
King g5.
Yeah, something like that. And then I can't check again, huh? So I waited, and then he played bishop g4, shielding, and then now I took the pawn.
Right, and then king takes.
Yep. And so this is still a drawn endgame, but I was on low time pressure. I didn't actually know how to draw, but I did what made sense. Um,
explain it. Explain what the drawing,
yeah.
the plan is.
So I have two options. The draw is if I exchange this rook for this g pawn. It didn't click in my head until after the game that that was a possibility. Like if I can get that g pawn, the game's a draw. If my king's on h
If you get the G pawn correct and the king to H8.
h8, yeah. So I didn't think about that in the game. I was just like frantically like, oh my gosh, like am I gonna lose this game? Like I can't fuck up. Like all these thoughts in my head.
Here's another kind of mental psychological thing that I work with.
Yeah.
That I think you will find immensely useful.
Okay.
Is I would rather lose on time, get out. Like I'm serious about this. I would rather lose on time with a plan or searching for a plan than playing frantic moves and losing.
Huh. Interesting.
So I've done that before too in maybe positions that are kind of similar to this in at least in their nature, is use that as a practice because at least that way you're forcing yourself to be rational.
Yeah.
Right?
Huh.
And yeah, I mean, if you have to lose the game, that's the worst thing that you want to happen. And to watch your time just dwindle down is kind of a sad and pathetic feeling to me. At least it's hard to lose on time, but at least you're looking for what the proper plan is. So that's something that I mean, take that with a grain of salt. That's not to be taken too literally.
Sure.
But if you are making this frantic moves and shuffling, you're out of control, and you know that this is equally lost as losing on time. So at least you're using the practice of trying to have some type of rationality behind your moves.
Yeah. So you're optimizing for learning, not for the result.
Correct.
I like that. And that makes sense because even though technically, like, if you shuffle around and win on time or like win on a blunder, like you win the game technically, but that doesn't mean, and you can analyze it later, obviously, but that doesn't mean that you did it with the right intention of a plan. Or, yeah.
And for optimal growth in learning, I think if you maximize the other aspect rather than winning, you're long term wise, you're going to be a better player anyways.
You're right. You're so right. That's good. I'm going to speed through the next couple moves and show you the critical position that we had. So my goal, so trade this pawn for the rook or just cut the king off entirely and make sure never let the bishop go to a square where it controls g8. That's what I learned after the game. Once this bishop can go to a square like e6 or d5, then the game's over. Because now he can push his pawns comfortably. With the protection of like playing g8 queen and then the bishop's protecting. So I'm going to speed through the next couple moves. Because I'm going to show you the critical position. So okay, this is the critical position. We basically landed here. And then for about 20 more moves, he just shuffled back and forth, trying to trick me into doing something. And I was so, it was in my head, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, he has a plan. Like, what is, like, I got so scared. All I did was just go back and forth here. For 20 moves.
Okay.
And so, I think it's a good lesson. Maybe, do you want to try to win this or you play as white? Actually, no, I kind of told you the answer, but basically how the game unfolded, I'll just show you what happened. His king went back for... Okay, I went rook a5. His king went back for some reason. And for some reason, I thought it'd be a good idea to, like, cut him off here or something. So my rook was a little misplaced now. Oh, what happened?
Here, there's this rook takes bishop.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to show you the position that where I lost. So he didn't play this exact move order, but basically, he got his king. He used his bishop. Here, let me speed through the moves. um, to shield him. I forgot how he did it. Like even I don't. It's hard for me. Like this is technically a draw, but he got his bishop to e6 safely. When I should have played a move to block that, either rook d6 or anywhere on the third rank. I don't know the exact move order. This is disappointing. Okay, so something like this. I forgot what happened, but something like this. Oh, actually no. Something like this happened.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so you did that in complete time trouble. That's just a time pressure error.
Yeah, but I didn't know the idea of making sure this bishop can never go to a square where it can protect g8. If I knew that, then I would have moved my rook to d6 or somewhere to protect that. But it was time trouble. I didn't know the position. I'd never seen it before. Psychologically, he was playing like 20 more moves and like thinking a long time and like playing precisely. Well, not precisely, but trying to trick me. And I had like 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left, and I was like, oh man, this is. I don't know what his plan is, but.
Okay, well look, the bishop can control g1 or g8 anywhere along this diagonal. So how is that manageable for black to prevent the bishop from controlling the diagonal? How is that even manageable?
I don't know. You want to try it? Want to play it out?
Okay, well I'm not sure if that's like I'm just trying to understand, like, from a goal you said the only way that black holds here is to prevent the bishop from coming to e6, but really if the bishop is anywhere along this diagonal,
yeah,
then he's going to be able to push the pawn safely.
But
so how can black's rook cover all those squares that the bishop could potentially land on to control g8?
Yeah. Well, imagine the bishop goes, you know, let's say for example, imagine the bishop goes to a square like b1. Right? Maybe going here.
Yeah.
I think now it's just a free for all check. Like I can just maybe threaten this pawn maybe. Oh, wait, I still lose, huh?
It seems like anywhere along the diagonal.
Yeah, I think maybe I can just check him to death. So check.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe he can try to like go towards me. Would that work?
Continue. Just play black.
Okay, I'll play black. So your bishop f5. I think I'll go here.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. So anytime the bishop moves away, you will give check, and the bishop will have to probably block, because if he moves away from the pawns, that's not good.
Yeah, but maybe it might work. So, say the king moves towards the rook, right? Oh, is that winning? Is that winning?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Did I fuck up? Oh, see, you know what I mean? Like this is hard. So. Oh wait, no, you can't do this because I just take the pawn. 'Cause- 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 That makes sense. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. That's the idea behind this. That makes okay. This all brings it together. That makes much more sense. Okay.
So the king moves away from the pawn. There's always a sacrifice. So the king cannot move away from the pawn.
Yes.
And if the bishop goes along the diagonal, there will always be checks. So as long as you prevent the bishop from going, okay, very good.
Yeah.
That's crystal clear.
There always be checks, and then the rook can stop the bishop from whatever square it's gonna go to, so to control this diagonal. So you would check the king until the checks run out, and then, like if the king goes close to the rook, and then you move the rook to a square where it controls where the bishop can enter this G8 or A2 to G8 diagonal.
Okay, well, like let's try one more time. Show me the money. Like I play king G5.
Do you want to play on from here?
Yeah.
Okay. So if here, then I believe I just wait here. Huh.
Okay, so let's just check and right. And then I move here. You take the pawn. So I have to go back.
Oh shit. Oh shit, I fucked up. Wow, I have to go here. This is tricky, man. Yeah, king d6, yeah. I just have to... okay, so it looks like I gotta prevent the bishop to go on the diagonal, and I also gotta prevent the king from entering on f6.
And that's manageable for black.
With correct play. With 4 minutes left, like, this is hard to find.
But okay, like technically that, like, okay, if you know this end game now for next time, like
Yeah.
you know this end game, that's a manageable, like
Position.
goal for you to do without even thinking, right? If you know those two things beforehand, then you know that okay, all I have to do is always look out for the sacrifice on the G pawn,
Yeah.
or whatever, right? G pawn. Always look out for that. Always prevent the bishop from controlling the promoting square, and prevent the king from entering the position, right?
Yes.
So if you do those things, then in time trouble, that's easy to do if you know that beforehand. Like,
well, I mean, of course, you gotta practice it a little bit more in order to do it without thinking, because I'm still messing up even though I know what to do. So it takes more practice. So doing it like 5 times against you or against a computer would really solidify it. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right. Well, it's a really good game. It's very instructive. I learned a lot from it. The fact that, yeah, like to me, from first glance, it would seem that the two pawns would be able to just push through and steamroll the king, but
Yeah.
it's not so simple. And yeah, very instructive stuff that you showed. Having the rook prevent the king from entering the position is kind of an important thing to remember.
Yeah.
And also the fact that if the bishop moves to try to check along this diagonal, like you said earlier, you will always be able to check the king. And yeah, awesome. I learned a lot from that game. Very, very nice.
Dude, I'm glad.
Even though you win the most from your losses.
Of course.
And next time when we show more stuff, like I'm sure I'll have lots of stuff, that I'll be able to learn from losing games. And
Yeah.
that's just part of the learning process. Really, it is. The better you learn how to, take the most out of them. And I'm almost completely against, for the most, usually showing or talking about games that I win. I think it's more important to show games that you lose. And I mean, yeah.
I feel it, man. Well, I'm glad this position is hard. Even, yeah. I'm glad you found it instructive. I liked your game a lot. You beat it 2300, man. That's like a freaking awesome accomplishment. Um,
Alrighty.
and I was
Well,
close to beating you at 2200, so or close to drawing him at least.
yeah. There's also I was reading in was it? I think it is Jacob Agard's book on I forget exactly which one. I have a bunch of them, but I was just browsing through the introduction to it, and he said something like um, he talks a lot about psychology in chess, and chess is deeply
Mm,
psychological, and that's kind of another interest of mine is psychology and stuff like that,
yeah.
thinking processes. And one of the one of the things that struck me about the introduction to this book was saying that yeah. Um, what I reiterating what I already said is that you learn a lot from the games that you use, and there's also a psychological component to playing higher rated players.
Mhm.
Is that a lot of what it takes to I think be able to defeat them is being able to know that they're fallible and
Mhm.
that you can you can overcome a psychological barrier once you know. And if you do this a few more times, I guarantee you, if you look at a few more games where you play higher, or if you get opportunities to play
Yeah.
higher ranked like Masters, then that psychological edge that they have is not going to be there. So that's what I think the boundary that I broke
Mm.
was that I played probably 10 games against 2,200 players or
Wow.
2,100 players, even experts like 2050, and I've lost most of them.
Mhm.
But the thing that I got rid of and that I overcame is the fact that looking through the games, I see that they do make mistakes, right? And then we
Yep.
look through them like this, and we see that they do make mistakes. And then you play like probably, I guarantee you, if you play 10 more of these masters, you're probably within striking range to take one of them down. And
Yeah.
I am a betting man, and I would put money on that. Is
Oh
that
yeah.
you give yourself 10 more shots where you play like somebody 2050 or
Mhm.
2100 or 2200, and then that psychological advantage that they have. Tying it back to what I was going to say with the book that I was reading is that he showed this game where he's playing this really like elite player, like top 10 in the world. I forget who it was, and he was in a completely winning position, and the game had been drawn out for 4 hours. There's always these extra factors, right? The game's been drawn out for a long time, or it's that you're in time trouble, and he was in a completely wrong position, but he still managed to lose it because
Mm.
you think that you do not either you think that you do not deserve or you think that you're incapable. So you self sabotage. That is one thing, and
Hmm.
I've done that countless of times. I've
Yeah.
self sabotaged games that like I was maybe at equal, right? You're equal, or and that's one of the biggest things to get over is breaking that barrier. Like, all right, this guy's just another guy, right?
Yep.
He's been studying chess and been playing chess for a long time, but it's a game of perfect information,
Mhm.
right? And yeah, I mean, give I would put money on the fact that if you play 10 more
Yeah.
rated opponents, 2100, 2200, that fear won't be there anymore, and then you'll be able to capitalize on
Yeah.
if they make any mistake. Yeah. So thanks for showing it, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to end this. So thank you for that. Yeah. My coach says a lot of my psychology and this fear is just lack of experience. So the more I play, like you said, like I'll get much more comfortable. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel it. All right, I'm gonna stop this recording. Everyone watching this, I hope you enjoyed it. You gotta see how we play the Sicilian and how things can go our way and not go our way. So, um, yeah, thanks.
I'll see you guys next time.